Hello everyone, myself Yash. In this video, we will see how to crack an exe file's password. For this, basically, we would be reverse engineering the exe file. We will be running the exe file, and during the runtime, we know that the file is executed in the machine level language by the CPU. So we would extract that, we would convert that to the assembly level language, and after converting it into the assembly level language, we would be examining the code flow, and we will try to check the condition where the password is being actually validated, and we will try to bypass that condition so that without knowing the password as well, we can just directly bypass that check and we can get into the actual application. Okay, so for this reverse engineering and what we can say disassembly, we can use an tool like, there are multiple tools which we can use. So for this demo, I will be using OllyDBG tool. So this is the tool OllyDBG. So yeah, so and what we will do, the software which we'll be using is this one, Lafarge Crack Me. Okay, so this can easily be searched on Google. If we search on Google, the first GitHub link, we can download the exe file. So let us first see what the application basically looks like. So this is the actual file. Okay, and if I run this file, basically it's asking me for a username. So if I give any random username and I give any random code, like you can check, it won't work. If I just give them anything I give it won't work until unless we don't give the correct option. Right, so there are different error messages that are shown. So basically we want to crack this file, and we want to like bypass the password check thing. So how to do that? So we'll go to the OllyDBG tool. I'll open this file. It's located in the desktop. Crack me, see. This is the file. I'll open it and expand it. Okay, so this is the complete file. So first I'll click on this run button. Okay, now it is in the waypoint. Fine. Right click, and when I had run this file, okay, if you observe carefully, when we had run this file, we had seen an error message like this is a bad boy and username must have at least 4 characters. So we can search for any of these two strings, right? That is what our objective is. So what we will do, right click and search for all reference text strings. Okay, so here there are very limited text strings, so we can see all of them over here, right? So this is the first one. Okay, bad boy username must have at least 4 characters, and this is the success message we can see. Okay, so over here we can see the success message as well. So let's do one thing first. Let's double click this bad boy, and okay, this is the memory reference where we are actually seeing this thing bad boy. So this is the, we can tell the actual text box. Okay, so this is the formatting is being done, the title of the text box is being set, and the text inside it is being set over here. Okay, so this message box is being displayed. So what is the condition before this that is actually displaying this? I think over here there are some conditions, and based on those conditions this message box is displayed. Now let's try to understand that thing. Okay, so basically some comparison is being made, EAX and 3. Okay, we are not going into the detail of that. Some comparison is being made, and if based on the result of that comparison, if this is jump, okay, JA, what does JA mean? If we Google that, JA means basically jump if the last flag instruction was on some unsigned number. So even I don't know what does that mean, but basically it's some sort of a jump. Okay, so it basically is some sort of a conditional jump, and it jumps to the location 401163. So which is this location 401163. So basically after this comparison, it is actually jumping to this particular location if everything is correct. If it is not correct, then this condition is not satisfied, and it won't jump directly to this one, it will go to this below location. Okay, so basically after this comparison, we are having a conditional jump statement. If this condition is satisfied, okay, then it will jump directly to this part. Okay, and all these lines like starting from this, all these lines will be bypassed. Okay, it will jump directly from this 401163 written over here, to jump directly to here, and the execution will continue. Now, but I think this is possible only if username must have at least 4 characters. Okay, so if our username has less than 4 characters, like suppose you have 2 or 3 characters, then this jump won't be happening. So it will go and this error message will come. So now we want to bypass this error message, that even if we enter a username of less than 4 characters, even then we do not want this particular error message to come. Right now, if we see the system, I'll just open this file again. Suppose I give this username of this characters. So right now I am seeing this error message. Okay, so I want to bypass this particular error message. So how to do that? So what I will do, I will always jump to this 401163. I will completely bypass this entire block of code. Okay, it is pushing something, then it is displaying something, and then it is returning the value 10. So I'll just bypass this entire thing, and I will always jump to this 401163. So how to do that? Over it is some sort of conditional jump, JA, and just change the JA to JMP, and I'll click on assemble. Okay, so now every time it will directly jump, it won't check for any condition, it will directly jump to this particular location. So this length check is going to be now bypassed. Okay, so let's verify that. I'll right click there, right click over here, and I'll click on copy to executable, all the modifications, copy all. I'll try to close this, click on yes, save file as crackme2, and click on save. Okay, so let's minimize this. I think crackme2 is here. So let me give a username of just 2 characters, and see, so now that particular error message is bypassed. Now we are seeing the next error message. So this is how we can bypass, or we can change the execution flow. We can even bypass some conditions, some checks. Now let's directly go to the condition where the password is completely bypassed and we are getting a success message. So if I just minimize this one, yeah, this is a success message. Goodbye, yeah, this one. So this is the block of code which displays the success message. So to understand this, we need to first understand the conditions before this. So over here, some sort of comparison is being made, and then jump if not 0 to the location 4012D4, this location. Okay, so no, that's not it. Try again. So basically, if this condition is being satisfied, then it is jumping directly to this location, and this part of code is being bypassed. Okay, so if we enter the incorrect value, then the success block is not executed and we are going to this error block. But if we actually give the correct code, then this condition will fail. This jump if not 0 condition will fail, and this success message block will be executed. And if this success message block is executed, after that we can see that we also have this location 4012E8. Okay, so this message will be executed and then it will jump directly to this one. So basically, if the success message is executed, then this error message is completely bypassed. So now what we need to do, we need that no matter whatever value we give, we should always get the success message. This block should always be executed. Okay, this is what our main focus is. So how to do that? So what we can do, over here it is jumping to this location 4012D4, which is basically this location. So we will change this address, we'll make it to this one 4012BE. So in that case, even if we give the incorrect value, okay, then also it will come to this particular location. So irrespective of whatever value we give, it will always come to this location and we will get this success message. And after that, the execution will continue to this block 4012E8. It will basically mean over here, and we can directly proceed with the other functions. So we can be able to crack this code. So I'll just double click this, and instead of D4, I'll make it DE. Okay, click on assemble. I'll close this. So now, after the moment it comes here, okay, it will directly come to this place. So now let's copy to executable, all the modifications, copy all. I want to save it. Yes, crackme3. Let's close this thing. Now, if I run this file, I give a small username. I click on check. See, we are now able to crack this software. So we got the correct code. If I give a linear one and I click on check it. So now basically whatever input we give, okay, we are always able to bypass the password check part. So this technique is useful in those cases where the password is not exactly hard coded in the system. So we cannot even disassemble the code. We cannot analyze the code to get the correct password. So in this case, what we do, we try to bypass that check. Okay, we try to bypass the condition which checks for the password. Okay, so that is what we did in this particular demo. We bypassed the conditions where the password is being checked, and we jumped directly to that memory location which proceeds after the password check. So now no matter whatever password we give, it will always jump to the correct to the memory location which is for the correct password. So we are always we can use this software without knowing the actual password. So hope you like this video. So that's all from my side. Thank you for watching.